Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be helping beginners going through the level from 250 to until like reaching 850, reaching 1000 or reaching 850. Okay, so from 250 until 850, I'll explain every single move that I'm going to make. I'm going to explain everything that you need to do at the beginner level so that I can help you as fast as possible to leave this beginner phase and go intermediate. Okay, so if you are 1000 euro and below, watch this video. It's going to be very informative, and I'm sure I'm gonna help you out reach it, gain some elo. Okay, so let's play. I'm going to compete against chess engine that is rated 250, because chess pots that are 250 perform way worse than real 250 players. Okay, I don't know why, so I'm gonna try the engine, and maybe it's going to be a little bit better so that I can you know give you more lessons. Okay, so you're playing with the white pieces. Okay, you have to take the center. Okay, normally I don't play e4, but I'm just gonna give you this to play e4. Okay, so I'm just gonna increase the volume of it. Okay, against e4, is this a good move? No. Why? I mean, even though it's an opening, it's of the French defense, but you have to take some control in the center. Okay, so when you go e4, your opponent has to go e5, taking more control of the center. But it's their choice to go for the French or not. So we're gonna go for 2 pawns in the center, and goes for the French defense, normal variation. Okay, now you can take, but I usually just like to take and just develop the knight and stuff. So I just take. Okay, so just take. Now you can develop this knight f3, knight c3. You can get out with the bishop on f4. Okay, you can get out with the bishop on e2, or give a check, then go back, then start to target this pawn. You have to go for positional kind of gameplay. Okay, where you just improve the value of your pieces. Right now, this knight value, I mean, it is worth 3 points of material, right? But now it's even worth more when it goes to knight c3, because it's attacking a pawn, it's controlling the center, it's supporting this square as well, e4. So it's really good. So you have to develop your pieces. Don't ever go for another. I mean, it's also like in some kind of opening stuff, but don't go for opening some difficulties in the opening stuff. Just develop your pieces. So let's just develop the knight, develop the other knight, get the bishop out, get the other bishop out, castle. This is what you need to do. Okay, is this a good move? Normally you should not keep moving your pawns. Okay, you need to develop pieces, not pawns. Okay, these are the pawns. Okay, you develop the pieces, only the pieces, the knights, the bishop, the knights and the bishops. Okay, this is what you need to be to improving. So is this a good move? No. Take more control. Look, we're gaining some control. Okay, is this a good move? I mean, I thought that I'm playing against some good. I mean, even though it's 250 elo, okay, but it is a chess engine, so I thought it's going to be a little bit better than a chess pot, but it's not. Look, never move your king. If you are under 1000 elo, never move your king. You move your king to this square or this square or this square, normally when you are going to the end game. Okay, in the end game you don't want your king to be locked in the corner. Okay, but at the beginning of the game, yes, you want your king to be locked in a corner, like castling this way or castling this way, because there are still too many pieces, too many attacks on your king. Okay, but in the end game there are not many pieces to attack your king, so you can get out with the king. Okay, so this is a good move only if it's an end game, but it's not. So now it's a really bad move. He should be developing the knight, developing the other knight, developing the bishop, pinning the knight. It's threatening to ruin the pawn structure. Do something that is valuable in your pieces. Okay, so now he did this move. What should we do? Let's just develop the bishop. I'm not going for the best moves. Okay, it's normal not to do the best move. It's okay. All you have to do is just make improving moves. Okay, so now we improved the position of our bishop. Okay, and now he went bishop d6. You can exchange the bishop. You can go queen takes or pawn takes. It is the same thing. Then you can just develop your bishop here, targeting this pawn, getting ready to castle, and get yourself a safe king. Get the rook on the open file. This is what you are supposed to do. Play slow, active pieces, and that's it. So now if I want to with the bishop out, he can just take my bishop for free. Okay, so you need to understand, you need to memorize the value of the pieces and never forget it. Never. The queen is worth 9 points. The rooks are 5 points. The knight and the bishop are 3, but in the end game, the bishop is really strong. Like, it takes a lot of diagonals. Okay, so it's a little bit better if you have the bishop pair, or you have a bishop and your opponent has a knight. Okay, it's good. And the pawns are worth one point of material. Okay, and your king is priceless. Okay, don't lose the king. So you can just trade the bishop. He can take with the queen. It's a bad decision to take with the pawn because you get double pawns. Okay, so it's better to take with this, with the queen. Now you can go bishop e2. I can go bishop d3. Okay, so you have, look, you have bishop e2, bishop d3, bishop c4, bishop b5. If the king was there, or you might be adding some trouble to the king, so maybe this is a good move. But now there's no king, so you're not supposed to do it. Okay, what about bishop c4? Bishop c4 falls for this. D takes c4 and you lose the bishop, so it's not a good move. So you have either bishop e2 or bishop d3. This is how to know what you are supposed to do in the position. Okay, so now why do I want to move the bishop? Why not the knight or the queen or the rook or the pawns? Why the bishop? Why? Because we are following chess principles. We want a safe king. Okay, but how can I go for a safe king and the bishop is there? So I have to move it. But I have to move it here, because if I move it there, he can give me another check and I have to block with the bishop. So bishop e2 is completely normal. Then we're going to castle this way and we're going to have a safe king. Now you have to look for your opponent's move. He did knight c6. Is this a threatening move? You draw a line. You literally, if you're playing on your PC or on your laptop, draw a line from the piece. Look, the knight is looking at this and 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 this. It's like a scorpion. Not that square, that square. Knight a5, okay? So knight is like a scorpion. But it's the only square that it's targeting my pieces, it's the pawn. So it's defended by 1 and 2. So we should not be worrying about this. So now we can just get our king to safety, and that's it. Now we wait for our opponent. So now we know with these two moves, our opponent is taking advantage of the position. He is advancing his pieces. He is activating his pieces. This is what you are supposed to do as well. Active pieces. Okay, but you have to think in every single move your opponent do. What does he want? Is it only an improving move or a threatening move as well? It's not threatening to go here with the knight because you can just take it, and if the pawn takes, you can just move your knight whenever you want. Okay, here it's not really good because you fall for this, and you're gonna get what do you call the word? I don't know, man. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do. Let's just improve the position of the rook, go for the open file, and that's it. Okay, so let's just move it. You might think that, oh look, knight g4 builds an attack with the queen. Oh, my king. Oh, it might get mated, but there's a knight. You should not move the knight if the knight is here. And you should not move the knight now because you allow this move and you allow this threat. You can just refute that, attack and do it, but you have to think how my opponent can attack me. He can attack me like this. He can go for knight g4, adding pressure here. But maybe he need to, first remove my knight. So maybe he can push his pawns. So like he goes here to go here to go here to attack my knight. My knight moves, then he moves his knight here to add pressure on the pawn. But we are safe now. Okay, so now what you are supposed to do? You can move the bishop. Why am I moving the bishop now? Why am I not moving the knight? Because the knights are in a really beautiful square. Okay, they are controlling the center. It's a really nice place for them. Okay, we can go knight b5, threatening the queen and also threatening the pawn on c7. But the queen can just go back, and we cannot take that pawn. Okay, and we can now go knight e5, attacking the queen, forcing it to go back somewhere else because knight can take us. Okay, so this is how you need to be planning in your head. Okay, is any square in my opponent's territory is threatened or weak or anything? This is not weak. This is defended by the bishop. This is defended by the knight and the queen. Everything is defended. Okay, but let's just move the bishop away. Let's just move it here. Bishop b5. Bishop b5. Just being annoying with this pin. So he takes. It's okay. We can take with the queen. This pawn is still defended. We should not take with the knight. Okay. In some cases in chess, you have to go back with the pieces. Sometimes, but it's more likely like it's some kind of tactical or positional kind of move, like where you're waiting for the end game and you need to do some kind of crazy move. But the knight back, it's really passive because the knight has to go back to control the center. So we take with the queen, not with the knight. Okay, this pawn is defended with the knight. Okay, so now this is a threat. Okay, and this is number one. Number two, you have to know, is your bishop good or not? The knight can go here, adding pressure with this fork. The knight is pressuring this pawn, and it's just a little bit annoying. Okay, but his bishop cannot participate in the game because it just blocked because of his own pawn. So we can just take the knight, and he can take with the bishop over the queen. It's completely fine. Okay, now we can move queen d2. Why am I moving queen d2? Why? Because I want to use my last piece. My last piece is the rook, and the rook is on there on a1. So don't move the pawn. Don't move the b2 pawn or the a2 pawn or the g2 pawn or this pawn. Don't move anything. Wait, you have to think. You have to think of the pieces. You gotta go active pieces. Pieces, not pawns. Move your pawns the last, okay? We're gonna go queen d2. We're gonna go rook e1 and control this square. Okay, is this a good move? I just told you, you're not supposed to take with the knight because, you know, it's a retreating move. You're retreating, but the knight is really nice here, okay? So you should not be doing a retreating move like this. This is a bad move. So take control of the e file, and this file is yours with the rook. Okay, is this move a good move or not? Well, it stopped the check, it stops the queen from entering, so it is a good move. Okay, now can we give this check? We can give this check, but don't go, I see check, I do check. No, you should not be doing that. You should always ask yourself, what is the follow-up? What is my plan when he moves the king? Okay, like I cannot give him a check and he's gonna move his bishop, okay, because it's a check. He has to move his king. So when I give him this check, you draw a line from your piece. So this is a check where the king can go. Cannot go there, okay? So the king either has to go here, okay? Or here, or here. But when I give this check, I can just move my knight somewhere and win the queen with a tactic. So maybe I can do this move as a way to trap him. It's like a little trap. If he falls for my trap, I can give this check, and if he falls for the trap, going for either of these three squares, I can go back with the knight. Knight c4. I'm opening, a check on the king. The king has to move, or he blocks with the queen. Then you can just take his queen. This is how to make plans in the game. So let's see if he's gonna fall for the trap. Beginner 250. Give a check. So no, he did not fell for the trap. Okay, so it's okay. So we have to keep playing. We can just try to get in with the queen, adding pressure on the pawn. He cannot take this knight. He cannot attack my knight. His bishop is not participating in the game because of this pawn. His rook can go here, but it's not really a threat. It's not really a threat. So we can move here, queen f4, threatening to win the pawn. And if he tried to defend, okay, so he did not try to defend. Okay, let me just... Okay, I went queen f4. Okay, queen f4. This pawn is hanging. What is he supposed to do? He can go there with the knight, okay? He can go there with the knight, protecting the pawn. But what about like queen f4 and he goes g6? Well, I'm defending the pawn. It's not defended because the knight can take the pawn. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. This here, yes, it is a good move because you are defended. You are defended with the queen. But what I'm saying is you should not move your pawns in front of your king a lot. Like, look at me. Am I moving any of my pawns in front of my king? No, why? Because I want my king to be safe. Safety is important in chess, okay? So if I went here adding pressure and he pushed, it's going to be really weakening of the pawns, okay? Then you can, rewrite your pieces to add pressure on the pawns, okay? This is what you're supposed to do. But after I went queen f4, he did not go any other way to try to defend the pawn. He just So, I'm gonna lose the pawn, so let's lose the pawn. But let's say, so sometimes it's a trap, sometimes it's not a trap, sometimes it's just a completely free pawn, sometimes it's not. Okay? For the same reason that he did not go any of these squares when I gave him the check, because he knew it was a trap to win the queen. Now, is this a free pawn, or is it a like a Trojan horse, like some kind of way, like if you take it, like you lose the queen or you get yourself trapped? You can look at this and you see like, oh, the bishop on d7 is attacking my queen. I cannot go there. I cannot go there or there, and I have to go back. And you might think that the bishop and the knight can do something else. You have to calculate. But if you went here, he cannot attack you with the pawn. And if he attacked you with the bishop, you can just go knight takes. You are taken with the check, so your queen is not hanging. Okay? When he takes back with the queen or this, you can just take, you move away. Okay? So now we can just take the free pawn. It's completely free pawn because there is no trick. Okay, is this a good move? You have to calculate with me. Is this a good move? b5, is it a good move? No, it's not a good move. Why? b5, why is it a bad move? Well, first of all, it used to defend the bishop. So now I can take the bishop and the queen can take. Okay? And you can add pressure with the rook and you get in with your pieces and you can do stuff with your pieces. Okay? This is how you should think. My opponent moved a pawn. Okay, what does pawn used to defend? It used to defend the bishop and used to defend. Now there is a lot of weaknesses, and even this pawn itself is a weakness with the bishop and this, but it can be easily defended with the pawn or with the rook. Okay, but if you're up material, so if you're up a knight, if your opponent just blundered the piece, blundered a knight or a bishop or a rook, you just continue playing the game. But you simplify every single piece. You erase all the pieces on the board. Why? Because the less pieces on the board, the better you will become in the end game, and the better you'll move your pawns in a way that you will make a queen and win the game. Okay? This is what you have to do. So right now I'm up a pawn. So I can just, if I could move every single piece on the board and I have just this pawn, I can somehow get my king to this weak pawn or this weak pawn, and that's it. And I just push my pawns. This is what you're supposed to do. Okay? But now I'm just gonna take the bishop because I want to simplify. If you're ever stuck in a position in a game of chess, and don't do any weird moves like this. Okay? It's a weakening move, and this pawn is going to be weak, and of course your king is also like, it's a little bit weak. So let's just take the bishop. Okay, so he has to go take with the queen. So far, thank God, 250 did not blunder any piece, but only blunder the pawn. That's alright. Now you have to think, how can I attack my opponent? You have to see, like this knight is threatening to win these two pawns. This you cannot take because the queen can take. But if I take here, this knight cannot take me because it's already pinned to the king. But if I take here, he can take with the queen. So what do? I can go rook e5. Rook e5, I'm threatening to win the pawn with the knight. Okay? And if he takes like this, you can do some stuff. You can do some kind of, checks. You can, but how can I tell it to you? But it's very, very simple way. You can go rook e5 to go rook takes. Why? If I'm gonna go rook e5, okay? Rook e5. Why did I decided to take with the rook, not with the knight? Why? Because you taking with the knight, it's weakening of this pawn. Okay, even though it's defended, but it's only going to be defended by the queen. So a stupid pawn is going to be protected by the most valuable piece that I have. It's not a good thing because you need your queen to be free. It's the most valuable piece. And it's really strong. So it's not. It was not supposed to be pinned to protect a stupid pawn. So you can make a roof, make a little room for your king to escape any kind of back rank check. You can just move away. Alright, so this move is good. Okay, but this move is not so good because if there's some kind of bishop there on the dark square, it's gonna be some little bit bad and stuff. But this is the safest move because there is no check like this, so the king is going to be very safe on this square. Okay, there is no knight attack, so this square is very, very safe. So you can go g3. Don't go g4. G4, it's too much. Like you went so far, okay? But now I'm just gonna go for the plan that I told you. Rook e5. Rook e5, I'm threatening to take. The knight cannot take me. And I was like talking to you, I'm telling you that thank God it's a beginner, I did not blunder any piece. I'm trying to educate people, you little crappy beginner, level engine. Okay, so let's go back. I went to a rook e5 going for my plan, but he goes queen takes c3. The knight is defended by the pawn. Okay, the knight is defended by the pawn. In some way, let's say that the rook is not here. Let's say that I don't have a rook, and this black pawn is like somehow is there. Okay, and he wants to push a pawn and he wants to do something, so he can just sacrifice and push a pawn. Okay, might be a good move, but this, it's a completely free queen, so just take the queen. In 250, yes, your opponent's gonna blunder at 250. Why are they gonna blunder? Because they don't know the value of the pieces. They always forget the value of the piece. He thought that it was like a bishop takes knight, and bishop is a 3 and knight is a 3, so it's okay, it's a trade. Not every single trade is an even trade, okay? Like an even, like it's like the same amount of value, okay? It's a queen, 9 points of material, knight, 3 points of material. So I'm just up 6 points plus the pawn, so this is 7 points of material. It's a lot. So now what you are supposed to do in this kind of way, your ultimate plan, when you reach this kind of end game, okay, your ultimate plan, aim for the king. Aim for the king, don't go for the pawn, don't go for weird stuff, okay, aim for the king. This knight cannot move, so you can just take this pawn, you can take the other pawn, you can simplify, you can figure out a way to erase everything, then push your pawns. This is the first way. The second way, if you have enough pieces to mate, is the rook and the queen enough pieces to mate? No, because there's the knight, there's the rook, and the king can move somewhere and stuff, so it's not really a way to mate the king. So go for the pawns. If you went rook takes d5, there's knight takes, but it's not possible because the knight is pinned, okay? So you take the pawn. Now don't go take here, because thinking that the knight is pinned, it's pinned with this piece. So look, my opponent is good. He went like, ooh, my pawn is undefended, I'm not gonna push it and lose it, okay? I'm gonna defend it. So this is a good way. Now you can go for the weakness. This is a weakness. You can go by rook c5. The rook c5 is the best, I guess. Now, my opponent can do some kind of trick. In this position, you can forget about the pawn. Like, let's say if you're playing with the black pieces, and I'm a greedy player, and I was like, I want to go for the pawns, I want to do all sort of things. You can go rook e8, and I'm like, oh, free pawn, I'm gonna take it. But no, it's rook e1 mate, I lose the game. You have to think in ways that your opponent is gonna kick your ass in it. You have to think in the game. You're playing like a 10-minute game, 15-minute game. Think in the game. Don't just do any normal move. Okay, but is this generally a good move? Like, just protecting this pawn, is it a good move? You can win this piece. You can win, the pawn. You can win the pawn. How? I can go queen c8 check. Queen c8 check. He can go there with the knight, or he can just move his king. If he went there with the knight, I cannot go rook takes, then queen takes, because the knight can take. And I lose this endgame. So, if I gave it check, and he moved his king, I take this pawn, and I make him a check, and I just go for the pawns, and I push for making another queen. Okay? This is what you're supposed to do. So the best move now for black is to go knight e8 when I give this check. Okay, so let's see if he's gonna go for knight e8. No, he just moved. So now you can give this check, simplify your up material, simplify. The way to force this rook trade is to give this check with the rook. He is forced to take, then you take with the queen with a check. Okay, now all you have to do, he doesn't have any way to mate you with the knight, so you don't have to be really worried and move any of these two pawns. If he has a rook or a queen, go make a little room, a little window for your king. But he went there. Now you can give another check and win the pawn. Win the second pawn, push your pawn, make another queen, ladder mate. This is the simplest way. Okay, so we're gonna take the second pawn. Any other move he does, We do not care. We'll just take the second pawn. Now we're gonna go a4, a5, a6, a7, a8, make another queen, ladder mate, and that's it. Is the knight here a threat? If there is enough material, sufficient material to mate you, like maybe he has a queen, he has a rook, he has something, then you have to think. But there's the knight attacking nothing. This is all defended, so we don't care. Okay, we can give this check, try to win the knight, but we don't win the knight because it's defended. So don't go waste your time. Okay, you have enough material. How to know that you have enough material? When you have a passed pawn. Does anything can stop this pawn from pushing forward? No. So don't go for the knight. Don't go for these two pawns. Don't try to go for the king with the pawn and the queen, because sometimes you're gonna be low on time. So just go a4, a5, a6, a7, a8. Make another queen. Go for a ladder mate. Okay, the knight is doing funky stuff. We should not care. We should make another queen and win. Does he have any way to stop me? No. The best way to win an endgame, I'm just gonna tell you. I'm trying to be as much as informative as possible. I'm really hoping that it's going to be like, you know, helpful for you in some way, because I'm putting a lot of time on this channel and hopefully I'm gonna get something in return from it. Look, if you have a rook, if you have a queen, if you have any kind of beast, and you have a pawn that you want to make it a queen, okay? There's two ways. You can put the beast back and push the pawn. Nothing can stop the pawn unless he went and put the piece right there. Okay, this is a way to stop it. Another way to stop it is try to go like this, but he cannot because the queen is controlling the squares. But if you have a rook, let's say that this queen is a rook, he can go king c6, attacking my rook. So you don't go bush. I mean, you don't go bush because he can just take, and if you go here, you can go here, but you can make a queen. But the thing is, he can go here if this was a rook, but it's a queen, so the king cannot stop me from making another queen. So don't overthink it. a6, a7, a8, make a queen. Always look for stalemate. If there was a stalemate, be attentive. Now we can make a queen. Okay, now he doesn't have any stalemate because he has two legal moves and 3, 4, 5, 6 legal moves, well, also with the king and stuff. Okay, so how to mate with the two queens? It's really simple. Don't go for this check because the king can go like down, and you're gonna go and start. I mean, come on, how can I get to the king? And sometimes you end up in a stalemate. So don't go for it. Build like a mating net. Build a mating net. Force the checkmate pattern to happen, and your opponent cannot do anything. So like if I went queen a6, he'd do any normal move. He can move his king, he can move his knight, pawn, anything. Then I'm gonna go queen b7, and this time the king cannot go down because there is a queen, so he has to go up. And then we're gonna give him this mate, and it's ladder mate. Okay, so let's just go queen a6. Any other move. Okay, so this move is a little bit sneaky. You know why? Because after I go queen b7 check, I can go here, and when I give the other check, it's not mate because the king can escape, and this knight is a little bit annoying. But we still go for it. And now I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so now we give another check. He's gonna go here. It's the only move. Now look, how to win the knight. You can go queen takes, king takes, then you push and make another queen. Okay, then you try the ladder mate. But there are always faster ways. Faster. How to get to this knight? You have two queens. This one is pinning the knight, so the knight cannot move. Okay, so you can go here, queen e8, attacking this knight, and you're going to win. You're going to win the piece. Then you're going to push the king to the corner, and you're going to mate him. You can go here. You can go here. King, queen a2, adding pressure on this. So always go for the hardest one. Don't go for this. This is really simple. This is really easy stuff. You can even go here. Okay. So if you're a little bit beginner and you see these two options, don't go for them. Go for the, a little bit more tricky one. This is how to improve your chess vision. You have to look for the hardest kind of way to mate the king, to improve your chess ability to think. Okay. So we're gonna go queen a2. He cannot move the knight anyway, so now we can just go here. But pay attention, okay? If queen takes f7, the king cannot move. So if there's no pawns, it's stalemate. Don't go for it thinking that, oh, I'm up material, and that's it. No, you have to look for ways not to end the game in stalemate or in a draw or in any kind of way. Always end it with a checkmate. End it with a checkmate. So now, if there was no pawns, this is a blunder. Okay? You should not go for it. But now we can go for it because he has two legal moves. He goes for this legal move. Now you have mate. 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 You have a lot of mates. You know? So let's just go for the simplest one. And that's it. This is how to win. I know this is a 250 elo chess bot, chess engine, but it's okay. I'm gonna go for, simple as possible for every single next spot. Okay, next spot. The next spot is 400 elo. I have the black pieces. Okay, he went for d4. He went for d4. Don't go for any funky kind of openings. Don't go for like kind of gambits like this, or go knight c6 and it's gonna go for the gonna get your knight like attacked in any kind of way. Go for simple chess. Simple chess. What my opponent did, my opponent is controlling the center. So what should I do? d5. I'm gonna control the center as well. I'm gonna take some squares. He goes for the queen's gambit. This is called the queen's gambit. Okay, so it's not really a free pawn in the queen's gambit. It's not a free pawn. But when you take it, he can go e4, and he's gonna take the pawn back, and it's gonna have two center pawns. It's gonna have a lot of center control. So most of the time, you don't take the pawn. It's not a blunder. Like if you take the pawn, you lose the game. No, but your opponent is gonna get a lot of, pawn movement and some kind of activity. So don't take it. I don't like to take. I'm just gonna go c6. I'm gonna change it to the Slav. The Slav defense is like when he goes d4, you can go c6, d5, and put the bishop out and close. Sometimes you go here. It's going to be a semi-Slav. Bishop is out, Slav. Bishop is in, locked, semi-Slav. Okay. Now we're gonna go for the Slav. If he takes, you can just take with the pawn. Don't take with the queen because you're gonna get attacked with the knight. Is this a good move? Always asking yourself, is this a good move? What does it do? Draw arrows from the piece. Look at this. This queen can go all the way here and take my pawn. Okay, can I stop that? I can stop it by going here, by going here, by going here, by going here. A lot of stuff, and I can even push the pawn. You can do a lot of stuff. Okay, but the best move for you is just to improve the position of the queen. Okay, not in a way that you're gonna block it. Maybe sometimes you're gonna castle this way. You don't know. Okay, so don't always go here and block the vision of the king and the rook. They have to be friends. There's the possibility for you to castle queen side or king side. So always make it an option and just go queen c7. I'm defending the pawn. He can go take and free pawn, but it's going to be really hard to. I'm sorry that I did this. It's like a little bit intermediate stuff. You might think that this is pawn takes, queen takes. It's a free pawn, but it's not going to be a free pawn because the queen going to be attacked. You're going to move away. You're gonna find a lot of compensation for black. I was not supposed to do that. I'm sorry. Okay, but there is a way. Like right now, you can go for a developing move. Okay, I can develop the pawn on e5 or on e6. E6, the bishop is attacking the queen. Okay, but what does it do? E6, what does it do? It only defends this pawn twice. But if I went e5, I'm taking more control. I'm threatening to push. I'm threatening to have some more control of the squares. In the game of chess, the way to win, control as much as squares as possible. This is the way to win at games, especially the squares in the middle of the board. Okay? Don't go like this. Oh, I'm controlling this square. No, it's not a good move. Okay? Don't go here. I'm controlling this square. No, go for the center. Go for the center. The center, it is the most important part of the chessboard. Okay? But for now, I'm just gonna go for this. Okay? I'm just gonna go for a simple threat. If you're a little bit afraid of the moves, don't go for it. Okay? Like if you think that this is too much, okay. Listen to your thought process. Don't always do stuff without thinking. I can go knight f6. I'm developing the knight. I am taking control. Is this a good move? Knight e4. Is it a good move? I can take d takes e4, bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, and he cannot even take back. So is it a good move? It is not. This is a blunder of a pawn. This is how to calculate. And don't go like, oh, I can go here, or I can go here, or I can go here. Look, 1, 2, 3, attacking this. Okay, so there are 3 attackers and only one like 3 defenders of the square and only 1 attacker. So you can take but any b3 you want. If I take with the bishop, what is the point? If I take with the pawn, the knight has to move, but the knight can go here. And if I went back, he can double up my pawn structure. Okay, so this is a good move. I am forcing his knight into a really passive square. This is number 1. I can take with the bishop. The bishop is aiming like this, to double up his pawn. It's good. But knight takes e4. I'm developing the knight. This is number 1. Number 2, the knight will not be challenged by the f3 pawn because he cannot go f3. There's the knight here. Okay, so I'm going knight takes e4, and I'm winning a tempo on the queen, so the queen has to move. So which piece to take with is better? Take with the knight. I'm trying to make this as much as informative as possible. I really hope it's going to be informative for you guys. Just subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get every single player to be a look. Chess is the easiest game in the entire world. You just need to understand the game. Don't blunder your pieces. Look for your opponent to plans, and go a little bit. Don't go all in. I'm a tactical guy. I really love attacking chess. I don't like positional kind of chess, but sometimes I'm forced to do positional kind of chess. You know why? Because I'm already almost 1800. 1800, we don't blunder our pawns, we don't blunder our queens, we don't blunder our rooks, we don't blunder pieces, but we sometimes blunder pawns. Sometimes we blunder positional advantage. Okay, this is a little bit intermediate stuff and advanced stuff. I'm really sorry. This is supposed to be only for the beginners. Okay, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that are not active yet. So what do? You can go for this bishop d6. You're activating your bishop. You're allowing this, castle, and your king is going to be safe. Wow, this is a really good move. Okay, another move. I can go knight d7, or I can go knight a6, and the king and the rook are happy. I can castle this way, and maybe I can take the pawn and open up. It's also a little bit intermediate. I'm sorry. Okay, go for simple stuff. Okay, look, for example, just move the bishop on. You can move the bishop on e7 or on d6 or on c5 or on b4 on this. This will be taken by 2, 3 pieces. This is not a good move because it can be taken. This is not a good move because it can be taken. This is not a good move. It's a good move, but it can be attacked. But then you are forced to go here and trade the bishops and get in with the queen. Okay, so I'm gonna go for exactly for that. But because bishop e7, I cannot go there. Okay, but I can go here. Okay. This move, oh my god, I'm sorry a little bit, guys. Okay, let's continue. Is the bishop protected? It's not protected. Draw lines from your pieces. Let's say that you're playing with the white pieces and you went for this crazy ass move. You should not be doing for this, okay? Maybe you should go for this. It's at least defended. Like when I take with the knight, it's at least defended. But here, it's not defended by the pawn, it's not defended by any other piece. It's not only attacked once, it's attacked once and twice with the queen as well. Like, I was doing I was drawing arrows and I was supposed to take, but I just went here. It's okay. It is okay. Take the pawn. Just take the pawn. I'm sorry. Just take the pawn. Okay, knight takes d4. The bishop is hanging. How did I know that the bishop is hanging? How did I know? I can just go, oh, king, rook. I can just castle this way. I can get my rook here. I can go some kind of discoveries and win the queen. This is good stuff. But no, you have to look for your pieces. I have a lot of pieces that are really just defended. Also this, it's not really a little bit advanced. Sorry. Okay. I cannot castle this way because there's knight takes bishop. So I can move the bishop here. I can go bishop here, bishop back. Which one is better? You have to think which one is better. Is bishop g4 a good move? No, because it's full for f3. f3, you cannot take the pawn because it's defended by 2 pieces, by the knight and the pawn. And this is a fork. So you lose a piece for a pawn. Pawn is 1 point, a piece is 3, so you lose a piece for only a pawn. It's bad, okay? And you should not lose the piece for nothing, like just a free bishop. So just go back, go back. Okay, is this a good move? Is this a good move? Maybe trying to get the bishop out, castle this way, trying to be a little bit safe. Yes, it's maybe a good move, but let's just castle. Follow chess principles, guys. Okay, you're up 1 point. You're up 1 point of material, which is you're up a pawn. But is that enough? In most advanced and high level chess, it's enough. Like only a pawn is enough to win the game. Because in my head, oh look, I'm gonna exchange everything and I'm gonna exchange some pawns. I'm going to be up a pawn. Wow, it's amazing. But how beginners see it, like it's only 1 pawn, it doesn't do anything. No, it does a lot. Okay, it does a lot. So now we can just take this pawn and queen takes and just relieve you from this tactical stuff. But let's just take. There's nothing hanging in our position, so queen takes. Okay, now we can go rook e8. Why did I want to go for rook e8? Well, I just want to put the rook here and the king is there, so the knight might be bent. It's in some kind of I'm sorry, I just go for advanced stuff. This is what I learned. Okay, you can go knight d7. The knight has 2 squares to go. This one, you cannot go here, you cannot go here. You can go here, but yeah, it's also a check. But this move attacks the queen, will also give this check and does more damage. Okay, so go knight d7 to go knight e5. Always look for piece activity. So this was a good move. So the knight is, I'm gonna lose the knight. So I can move the knight, or I can just take a piece with it, or I can go what Gotham Chess says when it danger levels. Go knight e5. Knight e5 attacks the queen. Okay, if this knight was protected by a queen, it's a blunder, because queen takes, bishop takes, you lost a piece. But if I went knight e5, the queen cannot take, because high value piece, low value piece. You should not trade the queen for the knight. So this is like an intermezzo, like you can just take it. And why do I want to go for it? Because I've seen some advanced stuff that attacking the queen has to move somewhere else, and I can give this check. He doesn't have this safety option anymore. You should not allow your king to be safe, your opponent's king to be safe. Always go for checks, always go for ways to stop him from castling. Do something that is really annoying. So I'm gonna go knight e5 attack, and if he went for this, it's a really bad calculation. Okay, he goes there. Now, is our plan possible now? No, because the queen can just take us. But can we support it? Yes, can support it. We can go knight c5. Knight c5, I'm attacking the queen while also supporting the square to give this check and stop him from castling. And if he blundered and went rook d1, we can go knight takes f2. This is a fork with a knight, and we win the rook. Okay, don't go like, well, I exchanged the knight for the rook, so it's even. It's not even. The rook is 5, the knight is 3. You're up 2 points. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so now let's attack the queen. The queen has to move somewhere else. Now this square is supported. It was actually, no, it was not. Okay, now we can give this check or this check. It's not really that different from each other, so we can go here. But which one? Okay, I'm gonna tell you some positional trick here. Okay, which one to give check with? Of course not go here with the bishop, it's really bad because it doesn't do anything. It bends the knight to the rook, but it's not really that much of a good move. You don't want him to even cancel, this is even better. This check or this check? Which one? This check forces the king move, but this check forces the king move, and you can go rook e8 and you have an open file. So always go for active pieces, very active pieces. Knight d3 check. I don't know for how long I have been recording, and I don't want it to be really long, and then you're gonna get bored, and I'm gonna get. Hopefully you don't get bored, guys. Okay, now we can take a free pawn and attack the queen, and the knight can retreat. This is the most important thing. The knight can retreat. Then even if some way we cannot go here or here, we can go back to the original square defended by the knight and by the bishop. Okay, can he take one of our defenders? No, no, he cannot attack us. So we can just attack the queen, go back, and we're fine. So look at this. We are attacking the queen one more time. We are defending ourselves. We're also opening attack on this. So we can go bishop e5. Bishop e5 traps the rook. If he went here, we can go bishop takes. It's not really that much trap and stuff, but let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. The best move is to go knight. Yeah, knight. Now, be more annoying. You have to be more annoying in this position. Come on. Come on, guys. b5. Why b5? You have to focus on the two most important pieces of your opponent, pieces. The king and the queen. Okay? If you cannot checkmate the king, try to trap the queen or force some kind of a way to be up material. Okay? So now look. If b5, the queen cannot go there because of the knight. Cannot go there because of this knight, cannot go here because of the pawn, cannot take because of the knight, cannot go here because of the bishop, cannot go here because of the knight and the bishop, cannot go here because of the bishop and the knight, cannot go, can go here and can go here. Okay, you ask yourself, I mean, this queen is at the center of the board, so it's the queen, it's the most strong, that's the dumbest English grammar stuff, the most powerful piece, and it should be in the center of the board. It should not be like at the corner or like some kind of way. But if I go here, it some kind of forces the queen to be on a really passive square. And this is what you have to do. Push your opponent pieces to be on a passive square. Go b5. And if he wants to go knight takes, pawn takes, you win a knight for 2 pawns. So see, look at this. Look at this. Is the queen good here? The pawn is defended by the bishop and by the king. He doesn't have anything here. We have this, but it doesn't win the queen. So stop attacking the queen. Okay, so don't keep attacking, but try to do some stuff. Okay. I just need to take some freaking breath. Can I go for gonna sacrifice? No. Okay, if bishop takes, he has bishop takes or knight takes. If knight takes, I just want to try to get in with the queen to mate him. But I can do it without even... So look, I can take and allow the knight to take, and the knight will be, free to move and some stuff. But if I went queen d6 to go queen f6, I am attacking the knight. The knight cannot move because he loses the rook. So be annoying, more of being trying to trade. Okay, so this is really good. I'm up 2 points, and if I trade, it's also good. But this knight is pinned here. Okay, so how can you use it? How can you use this pin? If the knight moved, you just win a free rook. So how to do it? b4. It was a little bit advanced. I did not want to show you this, but it wins the game. Okay, so b4, it's really good. The queen cannot take because the knight is defending it. And if this, he cannot go for any attack on my queen because this defends it. And this, the knight has to move, or he has to lose the knight. And if he went here attacking me, I can just go back attacking the queen. Now 2 pieces are hanging. Let's stop talking and go b4. Oh my god, my throat. Okay, so the queen moved here. It's not a threat, there's nothing, so we can just take a free piece with a pawn. Now 1 point of material took 3 point of material, so now we're up even 2, so now we're up 4. Now go for a trade. Take everything. Take everything. Now bishop takes. Okay. We cannot go here to give mate because number 1 he can push, number 2 he can just take us with this. So you have to be a little bit alert. We can go back with the knight attacking this, but let's use active rooks. Okay, let's go for an active rook. Okay, the queen is going back. Is this a good move? It's not a good move. You should not be moving the piece multiple times. Now let's try to exchange everything, and if he took us with the bishop, we can just take with the bishop, and he cannot take because it's defended. Okay, bishop a5. Is it a good move? It's not, because it's not defended. Okay, you have to know the value of the pieces, and you have to know that the value of the piece. Bishop is 3, queen is 9. So wow, it's really good if a bishop is if the 3 can take a 9. But no, I can take. It's my turn. It's my turn. So I can just take. And this is just like, okay, this is why it's called beginner. Beginner doesn't know the value. Guys, the value of the pieces, the queen is 9, the most valuable piece. Then the rook is 5. Then the bishop 3. The knight is 3. Then the pawn is 1. And the king is unlimited. So when you do this move, you think that I traded a piece, he will take my piece back, and then I will take his piece back, and he will take my piece back. We just traded some pieces, right? No. You traded values. You traded numbers. You traded a 3 for a 3. Then 9 for a 3. Do the math. You lost 6 points. It's not a good thing. Okay? But then he went 9 takes 3. So now he's minus 6 points. So now it's going to be really bad. And if bishop takes, just rook takes, and just take the bishop. We don't have some kind of sacrifice because the king has some square. So we can go like queen takes, queen sacrifice, and then this, but the king can move. Okay, so it's not, I don't advise it. I don't advise it. So what to do? Go rook a8. Force rook trade. Okay, now we can now go for the rook trade. Go queen here. To go for the rook trade, force it. Just go. Be annoying. Be annoying. Look at this. We're gonna move the rook. We're gonna attack. Okay, so now we can just go for this check, and we're gonna take one of these two pieces. We're gonna take this, because if he takes it like this, we can take the pawn. He doesn't even take back. Okay, I know. Does beginners do this stuff? Beginners, do you guys do this? Like, you don't take the piece back? Like, it's not, it was mate, like, but it doesn't want. Okay, now we can go for this check, but there is here. So we can just go here, stopping the king from escaping, and we have mate. So the computer starts playing good when it's about to be mate. So we have now, look, check. The king can move here. We give another check. The king move here. Then we have this check. So all you have to do is just calculate in chess. Okay. Here. Then you have this, and he doesn't have anything else. Okay. So it was a very long video. It was very. I tried to be as much as informative as possible. Guys, I'm gonna go really slow in this kind of tutorials, because I'm going to take you from a complete beginner to the best player you can ever be. And this is how to do it. I'm gonna explain every single move until my throat freaking hurts, and this is what I'm shit. Okay, this is what I'm doing for you, so subscribe. Okay, I'm gonna do like one of these the videos every single day. I'm going to go from 400 to 500 to 600 to 700 to 800 to 900. I'm gonna go to the all beginner phase. I'm gonna explain every single move, and it will help you a lot. Subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye.